Hi, Joseph Pataro. This is Module 1. To start, about 90% of Americans were farmers in the 1800s, at the conclusion of the War of Independence. America lived very close to the Atlantic seaboard because of the trade, specifically the triangle trade through Europe. Europeans wanted to extract natural resources, sugar, molasses, wood, and later cotton, which made the slave trade absolutely necessary for this to work until the British ties loosened. Two approaches to national government. There was republicanism, favored a small central government and limited power. The supporters, someone like Thomas Jefferson. They did not want the national government to be aggressive in supporting industrial growth or internal improvements. Then there was the strong state, the second one. Some of the supporters were Alexander Hamilton. Believed the only way for America to become prosperous and independent was to have a strong state. They advocated strong government roles in creating national banks, industry support, and a strong military. The agriculture was the main occupation during this time. Farmers aspired to have a mix of crops and pets, 50-50, and the dream in the 1800s was to have your own farm. The West was the best place to settle in. Getting the goods there was the effort, but without that, it wasn't profitable. So the thing that rose was the Erie Canal. The Erie Canal no one knew how to make. It was a method to open western lands for farming. So they looked towards the French engineers to figure out a way. The way that the French engineers thought, which helped them, was math and theory. This was their two backgrounds, math and theory. They wanted to know how something was made, not why it worked. Then there was a difference. There was the British. The British through 1750 and 1800s were the Industrial Revolution. They wanted to learn on the job. They learned from companies and private sectors, not the state. And the universities typically trained clergymen, lawyers, and gentlemen. They didn't teach you how to be an engineer. You had to learn on the job. They wanted to know how it worked. They didn't want to know why it worked. The Erie Canal started in New York. The goal was to move people and goods from the east to west, not the opposite. They wanted to move grain from the Ohio Valley to the east markets, typically New York opposed to Philadelphia and Baltimore. They lower the transport cost by 90%. More money for the farmers, more money for the goods. The nickname for it was Clinton's Ditch in support of DeWitt Clinton. And in 1825, at the end of the building of the Niagara Escarpment, called The Wetting of the Waters by DeWitt Clinton. This opened the Erie Canal for business. This opened it to farmers. They just needed to learn how to cut through rocks, underwater cement, leaking water, and collapsing walls. These are the big issues that engineers had when doing the Erie Canal. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Aaron Sarton, and this is my video review for History 318. We'll start off with the patterns of invention. After the 1850s, Industrial Revolution began to start. Many of the real world-renowned inventors came into the limelight. The education system back then was quite basic. There were few universities and technical institutes. Initially, most investors were not in favor of inventors. At the start, inventors did not have a prototype or something to display their idea. This came along much later. This made this difficult for investors to invest their money in a project with no tangible result or idea behind it. Inventors did not have any team as well. It's usually just them by themselves inventing an idea or developing a technology. They worked independently to invent many things. The most prominent examples of this were Edison and Tesla, as both were working without teams or investors. But somehow they succeeded due to their dedication and focused work. There was not any communication systems to communicate with any other members or investors. Communications back then were very, postals. You basically had to mail a letter and wait weeks to get a reply back. There's also no concept of scientific instrumentation and our idea of an expert team to see a project all the way through in a process. Most inventions were without scientific work and teamwork. However, I don't believe that they're in the linear system as of today. Everything and every design is going through a scientific and computing and proper team research work. Edison was a famous inventor. To become a famous inventor was not mandatory to invent something in this world. Becoming an inventor, you should be able to deliver a benefit, or he delivered a benefit to the world. Edison creative light bulb, high resistance resistors to produce light. Uh, his competitors also were also present in the market who had the same invention like him, but he created the light bulb producing light with less current, high resistance. His competitors were producing light by high current. That's the thing that made him different from others, basically more effective. If we compare Edison working space, working in a place like Bell Laboratories, we have no doubt having a well-equipped labs with high investments. The Bell Laboratories had a well-integrated lab instrument team and instrumentation. The team at Bell Laboratories was quite large, and they were working on the same projects, while Edison did not have a large working team. Edison had a lot of patents that probably didn't know about. He was a very hardworking man. So Tesla, another famous electrical inventor, he started a revolution in the field of electrical instrumentation. Tesla batteries are still in use today, providing benefits to all of humanity. This was the beginning of the hybrid theories about AC, the over the wave AC theories and stuff like that, over the air AC theories. He was alone. He did not. He worked basically by himself, and he had these large projects to deliver on his own. Tesla worked on a lot of technical aspects, but was also alone in convincing investors to invest in inventions, which took a lot of hard work. A lot of investors refused due to the less because his inventions weren't as feasible back then, or they thought they were less feasible. Some concerns over the share as some of the investors want to take a larger share. Morgan wanted to take a 51% share of the company, which entered some doubt in some investors. However, due to his dedication and work, he succeeded with his inventions. This basically concludes the patterns of invention part of our presentation for Group 2. We'll pass it on to the next person now.
My name is Sebam Lesu. I'll be discussing Module 3, just the main points for Module 3, which are patterns of invention, analyzing them, which involves the myths towards engineering, questioning of the linear models, and also knowing that invention is about systems. A system that involves a producer, a product,